Hey guys, today I'm excited to talk to you about Mike Flanagan's newest series that is on Netflix now called The Midnight Club. Let's dive into my spoiler-free review, but before we do, if this is your first time here, I'd love it if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Okay, let's talk about The Midnight Club. All right, so I've got to start off by saying that I am a massive fan of Mike Flanagan. I love the series that he has put out on Netflix so far. And while The Midnight Club might not be top tier Mike Flanagan, it's still really, really freaking good Mike Flanagan. Now, the thing is, this is based on a book. I know that. I have not read the book. So many of you have told me about it after my trailer reaction, and I do plan to dive into it after watching this. I just really didn't want any spoilers. So, that being said, this season felt like it really left off with people wanting more. I was wanting more. I'm hoping we get a season 2. I feel like there were a lot of unanswered questions, and since I said this was going to be spoiler free, I won't exactly get into those, but not just the final scene, right? The final shot gives us obviously a massive cliffhanger where maybe they were looking to hopefully give us a season 2. But there are some other unanswered questions of events and things that happened sprinkled throughout the season as well that I'm hoping aren't just massive plot holes. I'm hoping that it will turn into something in, fingers crossed, a future season, because I feel like I can't just be left like this. Yes, it feels like some plot points are tied up. Obviously, we've got the whole Shasta storyline. That was like all completely tied up, but there's still more. I feel like there's a lot more left. And so I'm really, really hoping for another season. Now, let's talk about this season though. All of the actors are so good at making you care for these children. Now, this series is basically, I call it, Are You Afraid of the Dark, with a push towards people figuring out and having to come face to face with really their own mortality, okay? So it's Are You Afraid of the Dark? These people meet at midnight. Literally, it's almost the Midnight Society, right? But it's the Midnight Club. And they tell scary stories that are very much based on their own lives. It's kind of the way we get to know them on a deeper level, which I thought was a brilliant way of doing it, to be honest. But these kids are all dying, right? This is done in a hospice. They are facing death. They know they are dying much younger than they should. And so they are literally facing death. So because of this, some people are scared, they're acting out. I mean, obviously everyone is handling it in their own way. The overall lesson here is obviously do what makes you happy, no matter what, right? You don't know, you're not promised tomorrow type of thing, which I think is a great lesson. It's something that is maybe a bit overused, but still a great lesson. But the season overall, I really enjoyed the stories within the stories. Some of them don't work, and I almost feel like it's intentional. I don't want to say don't work, because they do, but maybe they're just not as good as others. And then, of course, the two main characters there, Alanka and Kevin, their stories kind of continue throughout different episodes, whereas everyone else's story is kind of a self-contained one episode. They tell their story and they end it. Kevin and Alanka just don't end theirs. They continue them on to other days. That keeps things going. They're the main characters. I get it. There's the ones with the most important lessons, so to speak, yada, yada, yada. But I will say it is easy to become invested in all of these kids' lives. There are tears that will be shed. It gets emotional. You just really become wholeheartedly in love with all of them, right? And you just want the best for them, and you want them all to live. And you're like, I know they're not real, but it's really not fair that they are all dying and they are all on their deathbed, and it's very frustrating. But really, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, not top tier Mike Flanagan, but really freaking good Mike Flanagan. Lots of really good visuals, several jump scares in the real world story and in the stories. Really enjoyed episode 5 is probably my favorite, but I love Raoul. I have a little bit of I really love him from iZombie and from, of course, Midnight Mass and Bly Manor. But I thought that episode was really great. I'm a total, game nerd. And I knew where it was going. It was super predictable to me, but it's still probably my favorite story within the story. I feel like the real life story is a little bit underused at times. It feels like some episodes are much more focused on the story being told at the Midnight Club, which I get. But you still have that time in the real world to get to become invested in that story, which is important. But some of the episodes felt like it was too much of just the story's being told. I know that's so confusing, but too much time in the Midnight Club story, let's put it that way, than like the overall story. That story felt a little bit predictable, the main overall story. I believe it's the second to last episode where things come to a head there, and I feel like I totally saw that coming like episodes ago, which was a little upsetting. It was a little predictable. Again, I haven't read the book, so it's not like I knew what was going to be happening, but still felt like they hinted at it a lot. Overall, really enjoyed it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I hope we get a season 2 because there's some unanswered questions that I want answers to. You guys let me know what you thought of the Midnight Club down below in the comments. It is streaming now on Netflix. It's 10 episodes, super bingeable. Starts off a little slow with like episode 1 and 2, but then you're going to be all in. Trust me, you're going to be hitting that next episode button so quick. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm MamasGeeky over there, MamasGeeky. You can also check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much to all my monetary supporters, my members, and my Patreons. Love you guys.